Welcome back to 2 p.m. with the Trigger. How you doing today? You know, I'm not a big data guy. I'm more of a fun, warm, playful guy. But sometimes you got to crunch numbers. Sometimes you got to look at data to reinforce what you're doing because you need to know if you're hitting your mark, not hitting your mark, where the target audience is. Today, we're going to do that. There is a brand new report that's come out from the Global Media Stats Report. And it's very interesting what this report is going to reveal to us. I'm going to share some of my thoughts. There's some of the data in this today, and it comes from a really good DataReportal. I did not say that wrong. It's the DataReportal.com, and it's all about social media users and the volume you use, what platform they use, why they use it. It's a very deep, intense data profile of what's going on in the world of social media. And I thought I'd share that today. At the end, I will be sharing the link for the overall report. You can go deep dive into the charts, the graphics, the information, and slice and dice it and learn what's going on with the platforms you use, how you want to leverage them, maybe what you don't want to do anymore, depending on the information that comes out. And there's just great information in this to learn what's really going on with social media in general. And because we're all trying to figure out where a place in the world. Great to see people dropping on in today and saying hello and more. Jam back again. Great to have you in the house, everybody. So without any further ado, I'm going to kind of get into this a little bit here and talk about this global report on social media. I'm just going to start with some summary facts first, kind of get your mind in gear with mine. And figure out what's going on. So this is a pretty comprehensive report. And just for the context, the latest data suggests that the number of social media users around the world, 77% of the eligible global population are active on social media now. 77% of the active user population is on social media. Now, we know there's a lot of places that have a tough time when it comes to computers, getting internet, the whole infrastructure and things like that. But that's staggering that in some way we are using our phones, which is becoming more and more popular. We're laptops, we're tablets. We are on all the time. 77% of the global population is active on social media. Now, let me take that a little bit deeper here, because this report revealed that the typical social media user actively uses or visits an average of 6.7 different platforms each month. Now, I visit 6.7 every day. So let's put that in perspective. Some of us are heavily consumers, surfers. We're using it for a lot of reasons, but 6.7 different platforms each month. That's an average of 2 hours, 26 minutes per day on average on the global landscape. Take note of yourself. Think about how much time you're spending on social media, whether it's for fun, for work, whether it's just for, TikTok scrolling where you get sucked into the void and you can't get back out of it. How much time are you on social media? Are you above that average on a global scale? Are you below the average on a global scale? I don't even want to compare to what that global ratio is. It's heavy usage here at Rock the Sage, obviously. Now, assuming the people sleep about 7, maybe 8 hours per day, the latest figures also suggest that they spend roughly 15% of their working lives using social media. You use 15% of your work day, your work life in all on social media. Now, I know some companies are saying, put down the phone. You can't go surfing. They're putting blockers on you, but we're still finding ways to get on there and use it, whether it's on a lunch break, whatever we need to do, go to the break room and quickly scroll on. But this is heavy because it's shifting more and more. But now I want to get in the real meat and potatoes of this. I want to show you something, and I'm going to take you to one of the graphs that they show here on this. And it's pretty interesting and pretty telling about what's going on. Now, zoom in, follow along here a little bit, but the world's most used social media channels. So this is ranking from number 1 to the bottom of what these charts show of what's going on globally. Facebook is still number one, or Meta or Facebook, whatever we call it this week, is it's 2.98 billion monthly active users. Wow. 2.989 million active users on Facebook. Number two is not surprising because it's the second largest search engine in all the internet. That would be YouTube. Potentially advertising. If you're trying to advertise it, you're trying to promote what you're doing, think about these numbers and think about where you want to leverage yourself. They're not just numbers. Look at them as possible customers, clients, people. So if you're on YouTube and trying to leverage video a lot, the potential advertising reach is 2.27 billion. 2.527 billion people. All right, that you could possibly reach through the power of video. And that's number two on the whole scale. Number three is going to be WhatsApp, which I use very sparingly, but on all these reports, this is global now. This is not just US. On a global scale, WhatsApp is heavily used. Are you using WhatsApp? Because I am not. And I've talked to people that are using it, leveraging it very well from the global reach. I still don't comprehend it. I don't understand, but I know it's being used because it's number 3 on that list. Instagram is number 4. WeChat is number 5 in the most used social media channels around the globe. Interesting though, and this is a stat I am going to watch. Twitter, now called X, came in at number 14 out of 15 ranked social media channels. Twitter came in at number 14 with 564 million. The others are talking billions, and Twitter's talking millions. What's going to happen now that it's gone from Twitter to X, and what's going to happen with some of the recent changes being announced by Elon Musk and his team? How heavily do you use Twitter? Remember, they're going to take away clickable links in your headers, and you can no longer block people. That's going to be left up to them. Those are just some of the changes coming to X. And even the brand name enough is hurting the brand. So they're at number 14 on global use. Number 15 is Pinterest, way at the bottom. Pinterest is 463 million active users on it. That's at number 14 there. But you can see on this chart right now, it's amazing where different ones fall on global usage and how much they're pulling in. So think about where your target is. Think about where you want to be. Think about who you want to reach. By the way, LinkedIn does not publish monthly active users. That would have been probably your first question. What about LinkedIn? Because we love LinkedIn, but they don't publish that data of private active users. There is a separate click link in this whole data dump to go check out if you want to learn more about that. By the way, the report has an interesting chart on social media overlapping. Like, we all use different channels and different combinations, right? You may rely heavily on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. You may have an overlap that those are your big ones. They have a very interesting chart on a global reach, how people are linking and bridging and using different platforms together to amplify themselves and their brand. There we go. Jan, sorry, these are long notes for you today, but you're going to keep up. I know you will. You got it. So thank you for reiterating that, because that is a lot of information to take in right there, Jan. So thank you for that. And we also know that social media, the combos are being considered bigger, because how you combine your different platforms is so important now. Facebook is number one. Facebook is number one, and the combination of what people combine with right now. For example, 4 of these 7 platforms are owned by Meta. When those platforms, the 14 I just went through, 4 of the 7, when I talk about building a media empire, they're doing. Zuckerberg and gang are making a media empire. They have 4 of the 7 top platforms. So yes, if you're on Facebook, you know it goes to Instagram. You go to Instagram, you can make it go to Facebook. And they have different things going on that's all interengaged. So post once, Expand your reach. Why do we stream every day at 2 o'clock for 2 p.m. live with the trigger? Because I'm on 5 platforms at one time. I'm touching multiple people in different settings through one live event. What are you doing with your content? How are you overlapping? Now, the main thing that I found very interesting about this whole report was the number one reason that people are using social media is to keep in touch with family and friends. Number one reason that people are using social media. So we're business leaders, we're entrepreneurs, we're influencers, we're using this for business, for content creation, for information sharing, like I'm doing right now. But the number one reason at 48.6% is still family and friends. Think about that now as we post and put our content out there. Relationship matters. It screams that. It's not just posting, which we've talked about. The relationship side of social media is so important. If you are building your brand, trying to leverage social media, put the personal touch in. Reveal something about yourself. Post a picture of your dog and you, even in your business pictures, even in your accounts. People are curious about you. Why? You're the brand. You're the expert. But they want to know more about you than just, hi, I'm a CEO. I'm this, I'm that. You want to let them know who you are and understand the full context. I just had a conversation with an individual. He's in Europe, and we were doing a first introduction get together and just talking and sharing. He says, you look like you're having a pretty fun attitude on life. You look like you love what you get to do. And I talked about it. And I talked about part of me is still a kid. He goes, great. I love to talk to adults who still have that 10-year-old mentality. Those are the people I want to talk to. Relationship matters. People are watching that, so don't miss it, because 48.6% people are staying in touch for family and friends. Spare time is number 2 at why people are on social media. 37.3 is the percentage of why people are on. Spending time. You're watching TV, you're talking to a friend, you're walking the dog, you're just scrolling. Football game gets boring, you're scrolling. We all know you're on TikTok laughing your head off, having a good time. That's what the second highest usage of social media is for. So that means add entertainment into your posts. Make it compelling. Make it fun. Right now, those reels are all going really fast. You put a little music on them. People love checking those things out. That's some of what you want to be thinking about when these stats are coming at you right now. Thanks again, Jan, for putting that information in there. Again, this is all coming from this brand new global media report. And reading news stories is the third reason that people are watching. 34.6% are looking for news stories, and watching live streams like you're doing right now. Watching live streams is number 9. Number 9 is watching live streams. Keep in mind, that's only going to keep going up as more companies, more influencers, as live stream programs like Restream did a big update last night, gave us some new features. As this continues to morph and to be more television, more interactive, more responsive to your questions, it's going to continue to go up and up, and why people like to see live streams. Even in the gaming world. In the gaming world on YouTube, people have been watching other gamers game and blow things up and fight and have a good time. They watch live streaming games. There are broadcasters now that commentate on live streaming. That's crazy, by the way, but I get it. So these are some of the interesting data coming out of this, and I want to share with you this report. If you want to mine this and go deeper into it and see how it applies to you, there's so much to extrapolate out of this. It's not just data for the sake of data. It's not just about the general world, but this is global impact. And as I mentioned, I'm talking to more global people, working with more global people. I need to know what's going on around the world with social media, because if I'm just thinking about what Facebook does here, what LinkedIn does here in the States, I'm missing the real reach of understanding what I do, how I do it, and how it touches other people around the globe. WhatsApp is a global app. Learning how to leverage that better may be one of my areas this next year to focus on because it's highly used, highly ranked as being one of the biggest tools on the global stage. What about you? Scan the QR code, get the research, dive deeper into it, and you want to learn more about what is going on because the social media world continues to evolve. It continues to morph. It's part of our lives now. And we know just by the events of this summer, between Meta now really getting going, between Twitter making changes and becoming X, this is very fluid. Some of your favorite platforms may dry up and not allow you to do certain things. On LinkedIn, which I love, they now tell you before you hit a link and you jump to my website or wherever you're going to go, they give you a warning. You're leaving LinkedIn. Do you really want to leave us? It wasn't that way before. You got to keep up on what's going on with social media, how it impacts you, and how it's going to impact you, your brand, your messaging, and so much more. Thank you, Jan, for the reinforcement there. We will be sharing that back in the post notes as well if you want to get a hold of that. But of course, if you want to learn more about how we can help you shine on camera, shine on stage, and elevate you and your brand authority, drop me an email, rich@richbontrager.net. Oh, and by the way, the website has gone a major update. We've given it a fresh face. We've given it some new explanations of what we do, how we do it, how we can serve you. Check out that one as well, because some of the information found here is helping us make sure our website is up to par for global messaging and connectivity as well, because we want to stand up from the crowd just like you. And that's going to do it for the day. I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. with the Trigger.